Catholic News Roundup is brought to you in part by PewSitter.com, your online Catholic newspaper for the third millennium, CatholicMediaCoalition.org, in line with the Church, online with the world.
And TheAmericanCatholic.com, politics and culture from a Catholic perspective.
Hello and welcome to today's edition of Catholic News Roundup. I'm Matthew McAuliffe. Tax status trumps truth. The Bishop of El Paso, Texas is disowning one of his priests, punishing him for protecting church teaching on homosexuality and reassigning him to an obscure post. Father Michael Rodriguez has made a name for himself challenging a proposed policy in El Paso that would allow health benefits for same-sex couples working for the city, writing articles in the local paper, and even challenging city officials to debates on the issue. Bishop Armando Ochoa does say, quote, "This type of intervention in the political process by religious organizations such as the Diocese of El Paso and San Juan Bautista Church is not permitted under Section 501 of the Internal Revenue Code," end quote. Father Rodriguez is being reassigned as a parish administrator and being stripped of the status as pastor. You can take a look at video of Father Rodriguez talking to the City Council, as well as read the full article about his reassignment on our resource page by clicking the link right over here. The Eagles cry. Students in Beantown are crying foul over Obamacare in their campus newspaper, calling on Boston College to defend church teaching on contraception. You may remember contraception is a required part of the national health care policy that Obama is forcing on America, with a conscience clause so narrow that it will hold Catholic institutions, like colleges, to either violating their faith or breaking the law. The Observer article called "BC Should Stand Up for Religious Liberty" says, quote, "BC should make it very clear that contraceptive mandates are an attack on religious freedom, and the university should do everything in its power to fight policies that are in direct conflict with Catholic moral teachings," end quote. The article comes out coincidentally as Archbishop DeNoa, the Secretary for the Congregation of Divine Worship and the Discipline of the Sacraments, says young theologians have an obligation to confront theological dissent. PayPal not so friendly. Gay rights activists claim that PayPal has terminated accounts for 4 organizations that they accused of hate and extremism for holding views different from theirs, specifically that homosexuality is a sin. You may remember there were 10 groups on the list given to PayPal by the same-sex activist group called All Out, but John Amon, spokesman for one of the targeted groups called Truth in Action Ministries, disputes the claim. He says, quote, "The plain fact of the matter is that we've never had a business relationship with PayPal. They're not our pal. And I don't think there will be a business relationship in the future, given what they've said and how they've taken sides with the group that's trying to force business away from PayPal," end quote. Amon also points out the homosexual agenda is simply trying to push these groups out of the debate in the public forum, not by refuting the claims made about homosexuality, but by trying to silence and censor their freedom of speech. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a few seconds.
Catholic News Roundup is brought to you in part by NewOxfordReview.org, the voice of Catholic Orthodoxy, in print and on the web, and RenewAmerica.com, expanding the influence of America's grassroots in the cause of freedom.
Uncivil Rights. Publicly acclaimed champion of civil rights, Reverend Jesse Jackson, is being sued by a homosexual staff member for discrimination. Blaze.com reports former staff member Tommy Bennett is filing suit for sexual harassment as well, saying he was made to carry out, quote, "demeaning and demoralizing tasks," including being told to apply rash medication to Jackson's inner thigh. In his suit, Bennett claims that Jackson made implicit sexual advances on him while talking about receiving oral sex from a teacher once. Bennett was fired and told there weren't funds to support his position, although he was replaced after he left, and several more positions were filled as well. Unfaithful Semper Fi. The Marine Corps was the branch of the military most opposed to the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, according to the New York Times, but they're the first to deploy recruitment efforts into homosexual territory. Blaze.com reports the same day Don't Ask, Don't Tell was repealed, Marine recruiters moved into one of Tulsa, Oklahoma's biggest gay centers. The New York Times speculates that Marines, quote, also ferociously promote their view of themselves as the best. With the law now changed, the Marines appear determined to prove that they will be better than the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Coast Guard in recruiting gay, lesbian, and bisexual service members, end quote. Blaze.com also makes the observation, quote, with the end of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, all 14,000 homosexual military members that were discharged since 1993 have the opportunity to re-enlist. I'm Matthew McAuliffe. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure and tune in tomorrow for your daily dose of Catholic News Roundup right here on RealCatholicTV.com. And be sure to check out The Vortex today, where Michael talks about the response of Catholic bishops to the homosexual agenda. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to tell all your friends about us. And as always, God bless you.